At dawn, a man in a policeman's uniform calmly walks up to a locked bank door and slips a key into the lock. No mask, no drawn gun, no running, just a uniform, a smile, and a key that was never his. The guards nod at him. The clerks let him in. To them, he is exactly who he appears to be. And by the time anyone realizes the truth, the money is already gone. This is the story of the man they called Willie the Actor. His name was Willie Sutton. And for nearly 30 years, he robbed bank after bank across America. By most accounts, he took part in around 100 robberies over his lifetime. An estimated $2 million gathered a little at a time, decade after decade. But here's the strange, unforgettable part of the story. As it was reported, in all those robberies, he never once hurt a single person. He carried guns, yes, but by his own account, he kept them unloaded. Because Willie Sutton was not really a gunman at all. He was an actor, and his stage was the bank. His secret was almost childishly simple. He wore a costume. Not a robber's mask, but the uniform of a man no one ever questions. One morning he was a policeman, strolling in as if he owned the place. Another day, a mailman arriving with a bag and a friendly good morning. He dressed as a maintenance man, sent to check the wiring before the doors opened. He became a window cleaner, a delivery man, a fixture of an ordinary day. He studied each role the way an actor studies a part. The right coat, the right cap, the right clipboard held just so. And most of all, the right calm, the ease of a man who belongs. He liked to arrive early, before the bank opened to the public. A uniform at the door before 9 gets a smile, not a question. The staff would unlock the door for him themselves and let him quietly inside. Then gently the costume would give way to the demand. He never raised his voice, as reported he barely had to. One witness reportedly said being robbed by him felt almost like going to the movies. He was polite, he was smooth, and he was gone before the fear even set in. One bank became two became a dozen became a career. Through the 1920s, the 1930s, the 1940s, the disguises kept working. A worn leather bag would fill with banknotes, then vanish out the door with him. He moved from city to city, from role to role, always someone new. The newspapers gave him his stage name, Willie the Actor, Slick Willie. To the public, he became something rare, a robber people almost admired. Because he took from banks, not from people, and he never spilled blood. By most accounts, across his whole career, not one victim was ever harmed. That, more than the money, is what made his legend. A man who could have terrified a room chose instead to charm it. Roughly 100 banks, as it was reported, and never a single shot fired. For the police, that made him almost impossible to picture. There was no signature violence to trace, only a trusted man who wasn't. How do you catch a criminal whose only weapon is that everyone likes him? Of course, a man cannot rob 100 banks and stay free forever. Willie Sutton was caught more than once and sent to prison. But a cell could no more hold him than a locked door could stop him. As it is reported, he escaped from prison not once, but 3 times. The same patient mind that studied banks now studied the walls around him. Once, the story goes, he simply dressed as a prison guard and walked toward the gate. Another time, men tunneled their way out beneath the walls. Each escape only deepened the myth of Slick Willie. But every performance in the end must close. One day, on an ordinary street, a young man recognized his face. And this time, there was no costume left to hide behind. Willie Sutton was arrested for the last time and sent back behind bars. And here the legend gives us its most famous line. Asked why he robbed banks, he supposedly answered, because that's where the money is. It became so famous they named a rule of thinking after it, Sutton's Law. There's only one problem. He always insisted he never said it at all. The greatest line of his life, attributed to a man who denied ever speaking it. He robbed 100 banks in 100 disguises and never fired a single shot. That is crooked genius.